Hello everybody, my name is Tanner and I'll be showing you how to code this VEX EDR robot I have in front of me. I had this built by my friend Laurel. She decided just to put it together, so I told her I would code it. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that everything is going to the correct place. So we're going to go up here, we're going to click on robot, and we're going to come down to compiler target. We're going to make sure it's on physical robot. Then you have to make sure that's there. We're going to go to platform type, and you're going to make sure it's on VEX 2.0 Cortex. This is if you're using VEX EDR, not VEX IQ. Then to start off, we're going to go to our motor and sensor setup. You can click on it here under robot, or you can simply, that should not have happened. You can also click on it up here. We're going to click on it. And it's going to bring up all these motors. And you're going to make sure it's on motors here. We're not going to do anything with this right now. And now we're going to come down here. You're going to change whatever port you have in it, whatever kind of motor, you're going to change it. So I have 393 motors. And I have one in every single port, except for 4 and 8. And I'm going to change all of these to 393 motors. Okay, now we have all those. We're going to make sure you click apply. This is going to be your pragma. You're going to click apply. You're going to click OK. Now, as you can see, it brought up all this, and we actually need to do some more stuff. Now, you have to name all of these motors so that when you're writing the code, it knows exactly what to do. Now, I'm just going to name them off what I have. You can name them whatever you want, it doesn't matter. Name it, it'd be best to name it whatever you're going to remember it as. So, for number 1, I have my base lift, which is a motor that's at the base of my robot. My second one is a M lift, which is just represent a motor that's in the middle of my claw. And now port 3 I have my back lift. There is nothing in port 4. We're going to go on. We have our T lift, which is at the top of my claw. And number 6 we have our back left wheel. I'm just abbreviating this so I don't have to type it all out. Now we have our front left wheel. We have nothing in port 8. Now we have our front right wheel. And in our 10th port, we have our back right wheel. We're actually going to change this back lift to B lift. And it doesn't matter what you name it, just remember that. It's whatever helps you remember. It doesn't have to be capitalized like I did. So I'm going to apply that, and press OK. And now, whenever I say something whenever I type this in to say something, it's going to know it's in this port, and it's a motor, and it knows what type of motor. So now we're going to start on our actual code. So we're going to come down here, you're going to start at the first bracket. You're going to press enter, and you're going to type just like this, all lowercase, while you're going to put in parentheses, true. You're going to press enter, and you're going to do a squiggly bracket. Now anything inside of this bracket, if it's true, it will happen. So we're going to press enter to start our while true. Now we're going to start out with coding our sticks for a controller. As you can see here, there are different sticks there. And the number, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a number for the different axes. And we're going to code it forward to go forward. So we're going to have motor, and we're going to do our, we're going to do our front right wheel. We're going to do equals. You have to type it in just like this, lowercase, VEX, and then capital RT, we can put in parentheses what channel you want. So we're going to do capital C, lowercase h, and we're going to do channel 2. And you're going to have a semicolon after that. And now we're just going to do this for all of our other motors. And because we have both of our, that should not be front right. Because we have all of these motors, and we don't want to have to use the sticks in 4 different positions, we're going to code for both the front wheels to be controlled by the same stick. Now we're going to do our back wheels, so back, left, wheel. We're going to make that channel, so we're going to do CH4. Make sure you put a semicolon after these, otherwise it's not going to work. Now we're going to do motor, back, right, wheel, equals vex RT channel 4. And that is all we need for our wheels. Now we're going to start on our if statements. So we're going to press enter, and I'm going to bring it down 2 just so I can separate them easily. So you're going to type in, this is lowercase. So if, you can put in parentheses, vex, capital RT, and you can put in parentheses, this is going to be what button you want. And I'm just going to do our top lift. So I'm going to do, what I want to code that is, as you can see on the back here, there are different numbers corresponding with different buttons. And for each button, there's a letter. Now, this is 6U, and this is 6D. So I'm going to code it go up and down with those. So we're going to make it go up first. We're going to do 6, and make sure it's a capital U. Before you do that, you need to make sure you have B, T, N. That way it knows its button. You can put that in parentheses. And we're going to do equals, equals. That way you know, because when you press it in, your controller is going to say that button now equals 1. So when you have two equals, that means when it's pressed in. And we're going to do equals 1. That way when it's pressed in, this will activate it. And you're not putting a semicolon after this one. You're going to press enter, you're going to put a bracket down. You're going to press enter again, and you're going to do motor or sensor, whatever you've done your pragma for. I'll show you sensors in another video. And we're going to do our top lift. We're going to put that in square brackets. And you're going to do equals 67. That's half the speed that it can fully go. Now, I know that's not, the full speed is 127. I know that's not full speed. I mean, that's not half of 127, but that's what the computer sees it as. So now we're just going to put a semicolon after that, and we're going to press enter, and we're going to end it off with a single squiggly bracket. Now we're going to do our next part of our if statement is going to be else if. And you're going to put in parentheses next to it. We're going to do B, T, and make sure the B is capitalized. And we're going to do 6D for 6 down. And we're going to do equals, equals 1. I actually forgot to add some stuff here, so I'm going to have vex RT, and then you're going to have button 6D. You're going to finish that with parentheses, and you're not going to have a semicolon as that. You're going to press enter. You're going to do a squiggly bracket. Then you're going to press enter again. You're going to do motor. Sorry. You're going to do motor, square bracket, T, lift, or whatever you named your motor to be. Then you're going to do equals negative 67. That means it's going to go the opposite way at half speed. And you're going to put a semicolon after that. Then you're going to press enter and you're going to end it off with another bracket, another squiggly bracket. Then you're going to press enter again. You're going to say else. You don't need any parentheses for this. This is just saying, if this is going, do this. If this isn't going, look at this. If both of these aren't going, it's going to go to this, which is where we're going to go. Press enter, start a bracket, press enter again, and we're going to say motor T lift equals 0. You're going to press enter again, you're going to end it off with another bracket. So now, let me show you what I have here. You have here is for the thumbsticks, what is going to happen if you move them around. So then you have this. So if this button is pressed in, then this is going to move forward or whatever you tell it to do. If this isn't happening, or else if, it's going to be if this button is pressed in, then it's going to do this. And then if both of these are not true, which is why we have the while true. So while this is false and while this is false, it's going to default to here, which is where we're just telling it to do nothing. And then you're gonna, one thing you always need to make sure you do is with these brackets, you need to make sure there's an end to them. So we're missing one for our while true. So we're gonna press enter. And I know it looks like it's not going to be on the correct line, but when you type it in, it will move it back. You don't have to worry. Make sure you don't, there's no reason you should press tab at all. And now, if we come down here, you can see there's already an end to our task main. Now, we're going to compile it to make sure we have no errors. And as you can see, if it has a red X, that means your code is not going to work. But if we have a yellow X like we have here, it means it saw something that it's not sure of, but it knows what you're trying to say. So this is just part of what you do. You just repeat this if, and else for all of your other motors that you have up here. And you just code it for whatever button you want and how fast you want it to go. It's always going to be if, vexrt, and the only thing you would change is your number and your letter after button. And then on your next line, the only thing you're going to change is the name of your motor and speed if you want it to. And you're basically just going to code it for whatever you want it to do. Now I'm going to open a file that I had already done earlier, if I can get to it. Let me just one second. Here it is. So I've done the same thing, and we have it all down here. We have everything we need. So as you can see, all I changed was the button number and letter, the name, the speed. That's all I've changed. And then we're gonna compile it, make sure we have everything right. We're not gonna save it because we already have. You should make sure you always save your code because sometimes Robot.C likes to be mean and will quit out saying that it's not working. So now we're going to take our orange USB cord. You're going to plug it in to your computer that you have Robot.C on. And you're going to take your other side, and you're going to plug it in to your Vex brain or microcontroller, whatever you want to call it. And now you can see we have VexNet is on, and Robot, that's red because we don't have it turned on. You need to make sure before you download to your robot, you turn on the robot. So now